totally unique and one of the best bands of our time, I think. And he asked us to play All Tomorrow's Parties when they curated it, and we saw them play then, and we hadn't heard the new record because it had just come out at that point, and you know, it was such a powerful performance, and it really made us sort of, you know, start to think about the possibility of what, you know, what the project might sound like, you know, Portishead meets the Horrors.
So it was sort of like a mutual love affair, if you like. So
yeah.
All fans of Portishead as well then in the past? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I was a kid, actually, I wasn't, I didn't really listen to them. It was only later on that I got into them when I was sort of, you know, late teens. But I know Josh was a massive fan when he was at school. But I think the recording process turned out to be very different than what we expected, because Jeff, you know, he heard our demos and they were all arranged and written and the songs were complete, and he was really more interested in recapturing the sound that we'd had and the atmosphere, which was quite surprising really, because we expected him to, you know, really put his stamp on it. But yeah, we ended up just recapturing our demos, and his involvement was really more to stop us taking it too far and, you know, sort of over egging the pudding, so to speak.
Yeah. So I mean, there are quite a lot of layered sounds on there and a lot of effects on there. I actually saw you play at Field Day a few weeks ago, and I remember at the start of the set there were a few sort of like technical issues. I mean, is it really hard to reproduce the record live? No,
well that's the thing with Jeff keeping it stripped back. It's practically live. Most of the record, it's very much we work in a way that is you know, quite organic, and we were all playing together.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's all written as it is going to be performed. So it's very easy to reproduce live. The technical issues we had at Field Day were more monitor based than anything else. So yeah, no, we've been playing this record, I guess, now since February, so or March. So it's been totally fine. You know, it's been really rewarding to play.
In terms of sort of like dynamics as well within the band, obviously like Tom and Reese have sort of like changed roles as well. Has that had any impact as well on the songwriting process?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was actually the reason Reese moved to bass, because Tom has been sort of collecting since sort of midway through our last record, and Reese just has a real natural feel for playing bass, and he'd never played it before the recording of this album. But we sort of discovered that one day when
I'm shocked at that. I mean, heard some of the bass lines on there.
But I think it's really, anything is like, you know, it's really more about feeling than technical musicianship, and our band has very much learnt to play our instruments, you know, together. I mean, you know, barring Josh, who played guitar before, everyone, like Joe had really never played drums a great deal before the band, and you know, it's important, because when you are doing something creative and you take someone out of their comfort zone doing something fresh, they'll have a totally new approach to it. But yeah, so Reese has a real, you know, natural feel for the bass, and we found that the songwriting process moved very fast when he was playing bass, and Tom was more than happy to switch because he, you know, has a massive collection of keyboards. So yeah, it really worked out for us, I think.
I think it's, I mean, you can sort of like hear a massive difference. You're sort of talking about things like the bass lines. I mean, you know, things like "See With the Sea," for example, which is obviously very sort of like key and bass sort of influence.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we did all that sort of like come about with the change, and like was that the first song that was actually written as well for the new album?
No, it was actually the last. Yeah, "See With the Sea" was the last one. The first, I think, was 3 decades. Yeah, that was very early on, and that was the sort of catalyst that made us realise that, you know, that we, you know, this is the we were onto a good thing, and it was really, when we sort of finished and demoed that song, it sort of, you know, we were sure that was the route we should head in, and you know.
One of the things about Primary Colours is that for me, every time that I listen to it, I have a new favourite track on there every week. I mean, you know, when I first heard it, it was "See With the Sea," then it went on to "Who Can Say," then it was on "I Only Think of You," and so on. It just changes all the time. I mean, what's, you know, from your point of view, which is your favourite track on the record?
I think, I don't know, probably 3 decades. I mean, that's the one for me that I really love playing live. But I think I don't know. It's really hard, I think, to make a record that lasts and that people don't get sick of and that sort of grows with people as they listen to it. But that, I think, should be every band's aim, because there's no point making something that people are going to get sick of after 3 listens. And I think that is the case with so many albums in the pop charts, because I believe that you can make pop music that has extreme longevity, but people don't.
I think it shows quality and depth as well. In that if you've got a record and there's 10 or 12 songs on there, and one song can be sort of like someone's favourite song one day, and it changes and changes, but never sort of ends, if that makes sense. And I think that's the mark of a great record.
Well, yeah, exactly, and it's. And for that to happen, it shows that the listener is having a personal experience when hearing the album, and I think that's important, because obviously music is a personal experience, and it really, if you're not making something that makes people feel anything, then there's no point to it.
No, I fully agree. It's going to move on briefly onto the lyrics. A lot of the lyrics seem really dark, and in some ways, it's almost like you can depict a relationship ending. Would you sort of say that, and would you say that in a roundabout kind of way it's a concept record?
Well, I mean, it's people have such a stigma attached to concept records, or whatever. It just sounds really, I don't know, like it's veering into like really pretentious territory. But I think with lyrics you tend to write a body of them, and then you find the themes that tie it all together. And I don't know. The thing is, with relationship imagery, it can always it can signify loads of different things, And it's I just found that was what I was more writing about in this for this album.
Okay, just going to move on briefly about tonight's set. What kind of songs can we expect? Because again, I've noticed that you've not been playing much of the material off of Strange House. I mean, will that make a return at some point?
Yeah, we do play it. We change the set all the time. So some days we just only play the new record, and some days we play a lot of the old one. So today I think that there'll probably be a mixture. We're actually just deciding the set list now, so I'd imagine I haven't really decided what. We're having issues with what the third track's going to be, but yeah, apart from that, it's all set.
How did the wedding set go on Friday, by the
way? It was great. The crowd are amazing. They're really the best. I think we've played Reading 3 times. It was the best Reading crowd we've had, because I sort of, when we did this last album, I was worrying that people wouldn't get as outwardly excited, about it, but there was, I think 3 circle pits at any one time, which is
that sounds pretty manic.
Yeah.
Just got one final question for you. Are there any bands or any new up-and-coming bands which you think that we should be looking at this moment in time?
There's a band called Hate Rock, spelled HTRK, who are, in my opinion, have made an album that.
Saw them play with the Liars about 18 months ago.
Oh, you saw them?
Yeah.
Do you like them? Yeah, they're really. I think they're amazing. I actually I very nearly. They just did a duet with Roland Howard, the singer from Hate Rock, on his new single. And that's really great. But yeah, I definitely think people should check them out, because they haven't got a proper label, and it's terrible because the album is amazing. It's really got that longevity to it that people look for.
No, I think I agree with that actually. Right then, Faris, that's about us. So this is Contact Music with Faris from the Horrors at the Leeds Festival.
Thank you.